I guess we're recording. Fuck it. We're welcome to the GORE CLUB Podcast. I'm Steve Vessell.
Deathmetal
I'm Ace.
And tonight we're going to be talking about we're going to be trying to defending. No, we're going to make the argument that we have the worst franchise picked out.
Yeah.
Not the podcast. The podcast is not the worst franchise. But we've picked a movie series.
This is true.
We picked a movie franchise that we think is the worst. And we all have wildly different views on what is the worst.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't even know, like, do we just go straight into it? Do we just draw? I would like to not go first.
I don't think you should, because I feel like yours is very emotional.
I've got a lot to say.
I think you're attached a little too much. Maybe you should step back a little bit and take a breather while one of us take over. Ace?
Well, for mine, I've
just how you start.
Let's just start again. We've got a lot to fucking
sit right
cover.
back, kids.
The criteria for mine was I wanted to do a franchise where I was like, I love the first one. Because, obviously the first one's good, because why else would they make a bunch more after it?
I think that's where we're all at.
Yeah.
Like, we love the first one of these.
The rest of them, I'm just like, I either don't ever need to watch this, I hate it, or it's just like, why would I watch this? I'll just watch the first one. So I picked Jaws. Because the first Jaws movie, changed summer blockbusters forever. It created the summer blockbuster.
Changed cinema.
It changed everything.
It's a very important movie.
There's literally just shots from the movie. People reuse in other movies. The lines in the movies get reused. It's just just culture in general.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times I watched The Simpsons over here and how many Jaws references are in that.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It's a culture. It changed culture. Period. Yeah. Forget just cinema, like I said, but everything, marketing, toys,
the song. Dun, 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 dun,
yeah.
dun, dun,
just
dun,
look at John Williams' career, Steven Spielberg's career, and these people influenced everybody.
Yeah, and they made, as Steven Spielberg, he says that he made the perfect animal attack movie, or however you phrase it there. But he's like, I made this movie's great, and I don't want to be part of any of the sequels.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah, good call.
He doesn't want to soil his reputation.
Yeah, and it's
just built.
And it's a movie where there should not be any sequels ever. They killed the shark at the end of the movie, and spoiler alert. But you don't need to make another one, because then it's just what is it first of all, they bring this up numerous times in all the movies, but animals don't get revenge, even in the movies. Even they're just animals don't get revenge. Animals don't get revenge, and you can't get revenge on an animal because
I've fucked up some bees' nests in the past. They do.
Hard disagree.
They don't hold grudges. Oh no!
They do, absolutely.
If you killed a shark,
I'm on your side. Ace.
If you killed a shark in the ocean,
blackfish. Oh no!
Yeah, if you killed a shark in the ocean, and then it's not like their grandkids are going to grow up and be like, "Oh, I remember when my mom got killed or whatever," and then
it's a learned behavior at that point.
They're circling around the campfire or the dead at Work a Whale, and they're telling stories of back when my grandfather. That's the guy that did it.
I think if dodos would have learned revenge, there'd still be some around. But they didn't.
Yeah, it's
I love this conversation.
Anyways, it's they get all the way to by the time you get to Jaws 4, it's called Jaws 4: The Revenge. And in the movie, they're like, well, what do you mean, Mom? The animals don't get revenge on people. She's like, I think they do. I was like, okay, well,
Mom does.
Yeah, but also in all the Jaws movies too, the first movie is amazing. They kill the animal at the end of it. They wrap everything up. And then it's by the time you get to Jaws 2, it's oh, well, another shark back again.
It's called shark trauma.
Exact same thing. And it's but the only thing good about Jaws, Jaws 2 is basically a slasher movie. It's they do all the things that in the first movie they don't show. One of the biggest things is the reveal of the shark in the movie. And then by the time they get to Jaws 2, he's like, well, they already know what the shark looks like, so we're going to show it every 10 minutes.
Yeah. The second scene of the movie, isn't that the boat with the gasoline attack?
Yeah, and the woman, which is insane, because this woman sets herself on fire in the PG movie, sets herself on fire, and then the fucking shark gets gets to the side of his face burns, and he basically is a Freddy Krueger shark for the rest of the movie.
Well, how else are you going to fight a shark? Water and fire don't mix, man.
Insane. It's and it's the reason they said they made it they said Universal wanted to make a sequel, as soon as it started,
money.
Print money.
Money, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And
also, it's Jaws' 50th birthday, so have some respect.
Yeah. I'm not shitting on the first movie. He's one of my favorites. So, but it said they realized if they didn't make it, the original producers, they're like, if they didn't hurry up and do this, someone else would. So they're like, we don't want somebody taking over our project, so
Definitely don't want somebody ripping it off, Piranha.
yeah. So, but I mean, I don't know, and it's like you're trying to capture lightning in a bottle a second time.
That rarely happens.
Yeah,
And then you could probably, like we were talking about last last episode, like you can count 5 really good sequels, like in the pantheon of like all like movie sequels. Like everybody's going to say The Godfather Part 2.
Oh yeah, Godfather
Empire Strikes Back. But like, in the horror genre,
Aliens.
it's even harder. Alien sci-fi. It's just like that's hard. Okay, maybe 2 hands. But anyways,
yeah. But yeah, it's
this is why we're here to talk about this shit.
And honestly for me, and it's like, and it's the movie. It's like the first movie. Everything is like the dialogue, even the effects, everything, the music, everything about it. There's like scenes. The acting is amazing.
The lack of cocaine,
like everything, and then and it's like
then you hit the 80s.
Yeah, and then it's like they're trying to and. Which you're watching the second one, and then like early in the movie, they're like, "Oh, there's a power line down here. Better watch out for that." And you're just saying like, "Oh, okay, so that's how they're going to kill Jaws in this movie." Great,
electrocution.
Like they're just like, "What's this power line doing here?"
Maybe they were going to reanimate it after they killed it. Who knows?
Like, then
it's Jaws 2.
They electrocute him and like set the shark on fire at the end of the second one. And I was sitting there thinking, I was like, if this franchise, the makers of this Jaws 2 had any guts at all, they would have had Jaws come back in the third one and haunt the dreams of the kids from Amity Island.
For revenge.
It's like Freddy Krueger Jaws.
Oh no!
He's like,
Ghost
you
Jaws.
Burned me in the ocean.
And Nightmare on Amityville.
Yeah, Nightmare on Amity
sorry.
Island.
Amity Island. How
It's
about
like
that?
your parents. It's like, Mom, who's Jaws? Like,
Well, what's the quote in the meme? Everybody's like don't forget the mayor from part 1 is still the mayor in part 2.
Yeah, dude.
yeah, he still has his job.
He's fucking irresponsible.
Look, nothing's changed. We're in 2025.
Even
Things
Brody
fucked.
got fired halfway through that movie.
I know.
But I mean, even also just speaks to how awful the sequels are. Is that so many actors wanted nothing to do with it after they had to the only reason Roy Scheider came back for the second one is because he left another movie, I think The Deer Hunter, and he left that one and he had to fulfill his contract, so he was just like, oh God, fine, I'll do Jaws 2, and he just phoned it in through the whole movie just to get out of there.
God.
And then all the other ones, they went back and asked him, and they talked about I'd see if he wanted to come back, and he was like always quoted as like, they knew better than to ask me to do Jaws 3. Like he was just insulted, like he hates it. And then I mean the mayor comes back a little bit in the second one, but he's not like
He's not a prominent
he's
character.
not a prominent character, but like
This one's all action and a lot more gore.
Yeah.
It's like you said, that's a perfect way to put it. It's Jaws the slasher.
Yeah, pretty much. And honestly, if they had just stopped at 2, you'd have been like, well, Jaws 1 is great, and then the second one's like, whatever, but it's worthwhile.
Cash grab. Maybe
you
they-
wouldn't. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Superman 2.
I wouldn't be sitting here talking about it.
But you're
just
hitting all
like
the same fucking points.
Just like every fucking movie in the 80s, once you get to the third one,
Yeah.
it's got to be 3D.
Yeah, 3D.
All bets are
and it's
off.
the worst 3D ever, too. It's
you're right.
It's the joke. Like, it's been joked
the
on
worst?
so much. It has to
Oh,
be.
no.
It's worse. I love Friday the 13th Part 3, but I mean, it's worse than the 3D.
The Nightmare on Elm Street. What was it? Freddy's Dead?
Oh, yeah.
At the end.
Freddy's
Five-
Dead
oh,
3D.
minutes.
At least then they just had at least then it was the last 15 minutes of the movie. This is like the whole movie, and it's like, oh, what do you know? I got like a big stick and I'm pointing it at the screen, like all that kind of
Friday
dumb
the
shit.
13th Part 3 with the baseball bat
Yeah.
for no fucking reason.
And
I
then,
love that shit.
Part 3 makes you believe in actual revenge because it's Dennis Quaid's character is a Brody as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's his son,
His
who
drug-addled son.
Dennis Quaid.
Dennis Quaid, who did so much coke making this. Yeah, I don't think he said
He doesn't remember the
he
movie.
doesn't remember making the movie because every scene that he filmed, he was like, "Oh, I was high as shit in that scene." Like even like when people ask him, he was like, "I was in Jaws." What?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Like, and which it's absurd that they try to make this, and like I think originally they were doing like Jaws 3, People Zero.
That was when Joe Dante was connected to make this fucking movie.
Yeah, which is what they should have just done. Like just
To make a big parody. National
parody of it.
Lampoon's meets fucking Jaws.
Yeah, and I think that would have been good. And
I mean, it would have been like, okay, we get it.
But
This is
It would have
awful.
been interesting.
This is fucking awful. It's
Yeah.
supposed to be goofy.
but they basically just did Jurassic Park.
Yeah. Rock and roll Jaws.
Yeah, and it's like I think I may have seen Jaws 3 before I saw the original, because this came on TV once, and when I remember watching it as like a little kid and thinking it was good.
Well, of course.
Because when you're like 7, you're like, this is awesome.
This is my favorite Jaws movie. And I think you all know that. And I love shitty 3D, but not because it's a good movie. It's Louis Gossett Jr. who can't decide on a fucking accent.
Yeah.
It's all right.
He's like just the scumbag owner of the SeaWorld.
Oh my God.
And it's like, oh, well, we own the SeaWorld. Oh, how did a shark get in here? What?
Oh my God. Yeah.
It's the shark just like, which is, the jokes have been like a million times, like where the shark is just like slowly like not floating towards the screen, and then the glass breaks.
I put that on an episode that we had our friend Erin on, because she's doing voiceover for cartoons and stuff, but she's a huge Jaws fan.
Oh yeah, the shark.
And I had to put that scene on the episode where it's just like,
it's the worst. And then they blow it up at the end of the movie. It's like, oh, and also in this one, they're like, at the beginning of the movie, it's like, be careful with those grenades. I was like, what do you do? Use grenades? I was like, oh, they're going to kill Jaws with the grenade.
No grenade.
They have to do that at the beginning of every movie.
Watch out for that down power line. Watch out for those grenades.
Yeah.
Gonna need a bigger boat.
And Joe Alves was in town 2 weeks ago. He's the director of this one, and he created the look and design of the original Jaws in 1 and 2. And then he was in town, and I didn't get to talk to him about it, because I was like, dude, Jaws 3, because he probably would have slapped me.
What were you thinking?
No, that's what you would have said. I'd have been like, I love you.
Give me all the details about the set. How was it?
Yeah. Oh, God.
Tell me about Dennis Quaid.
SeaWorld, man. Is that what this is? Isn't this supposed to be SeaWorld, or they call it?
It is. They SeaWorld. They say SeaWorld.
Okay, yeah.
Which is wild that they would let them use that name. But like, also at the same time, I can even, like, when I watch movies like Orca, I can even watch that, because like it just makes you sad, because you see the like, or you're just like, I just feel bad for this giant fish or mammal.
Not in this motherfucker.
But in this one, like, I don't know, like you're watching that, and then you see like the killer whale that they have in the SeaWorld, and its fins all
oh, God damn it. Yeah.
Flipped over. And
now we know what that means.
Yeah.
Because of blackfish.
Yeah. And the dolphins are in there, which apparently one of the dolphins in this movie is still alive.
Wow.
I didn't know dolphins lived that long. It's like a 60-year-old dolphin.
And he's a superhero.
And he's still carrying people around in SeaWorld. You can hold on to the back of his thing. He'll go you through the water there.
God,
this movie.
Depressing.
Yeah, I know. That's why you're watching it. Like, this sucks.
It's a perfect 80s kids movie. Like, you wouldn't take your, like, small children to see this movie, but they would sneak in the drive-in or whatever, and they would love this shit. Like, special effects. The music is exciting. Everybody's coked up and running around. You don't know why. Leah Thompson before, like, Back to the Future.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of really wacky, good characters. I'm not going to defend this movie. Yeah. But I did.
But I still think, like they're not even like trying to make like, okay, this is like a sequel. We're just trying to make like we're exploiting Jaws at this point, like make it crazy so people, I think they're still trying to make a good movie.
Yeah,
like they're still trying to make a legit good movie, but they're just like screwing it up.
Intelligence. What were we talking about last night? Like, wait, the guy who's traumatized. This is how two brothers deal with their trauma.
Yeah. Why would you grow up and your dad almost gets killed by a giant shark 2 different times in your life,
and the second one is way more intense because they're involved,
and he's involved in the second one, and no trauma. He's just like, you know what? I'm just going to go work at a SeaWorld with a bunch of large marine animals for the rest of my life.
Right.
None of this affected me as a child.
But his younger brother moved to where? Like,
and they bring it up because his younger brother moved to like Colorado because he had to get away from the water.
Became a cowboy.
As much as possible. And apparently, then he moves back and becomes a cop in the 4th one. But
that's right. We'll get to that one.
Yeah, but it's like, I enjoyed it as a kid, but like, as still as an adult, you're like, they tried to make a good movie out of this. And you still watch it like, this is the worst 3D ever. They can't say like, well, you didn't see it in the theater in 3D. Like, I'm sure it looked terrible then.
I screened it last year in 3D with the good glasses, and it still looks like shit.
Yeah, and it's still, if you watch it without 3D, it still has like scenes where you can tell like there's like, like
they just didn't know how to make it.
Yeah, and it's like the backgrounds are all screwed up looking, and it's like, ugh.
Everything, even like normal acting scenes, look like they're composited on something like a green screen. It's like, why does this look so weird? Because of the camera.
Yeah.
The dual camera lenses.
Yeah.
Honestly, even without seeing this movie, so I fell asleep the other day watching Jaws, the original Jaws. I recently had surgery, so I am on the good stuff, the good drugs, and I fell asleep watching the original Jaws, and I woke up hours later, and before I even opened my eyes, Jaws, I knew that Jaws 3 was on. And I could just from hearing it, I was like, oh, this is a completely different movie. Like the tone shift from the original to any of the sequels is just so bleak. Like, just all of the heart is gone from that.
No one wanted to be there.
No.
Like, and honestly,
10-year-old Steve wanted to be there, and he wished he would.
Dude, and then by the time you get to like Jaws: The Revenge, which has been like an absolute, which is like people just laugh at this movie. Like nobody's ever watched Jaws: The Revenge.
Hey, they gave Jaws a voice,
and it's like which they
did.
do
multiple times,
dude. And in the second one, there is a small scene where he comes up out of the water, and you hear like kind of a dull roar. But in this one, man, he's just like comes up out of the water like a fucking dinosaur, like. Like sharks don't do that
multiple times.
Multiple times.
Like, was it Mario Van Peebles comes up with that little like
it's like some electronic pulse thing, and he's like,
and it fucks with them.
And he comes out of the water, and he's just like, why? Why?
The worst. I mean, like, and Mario Van Peebles, they're in the Bahamas, and Mario Van Peebles is speaking with a Jamaican accent.
I know.
It's just not the same thing.
You're not supposed to notice that. And the last Starfighter plays the young Brody in this one.
Yeah, and plus all the actors are different because nobody wanted to come back, which is red flag number one. Why are all the actors different?
Well, hey, Mom wanted to come back.
And the mom came back
with Michael
for some reason. She came out of retirement. Michael Caine did this for the paycheck because he always jokes how it bought him a house.
Yeah.
But like he had to miss like the Oscars to reshoot the ending of the movie.
I can understand why she would come back. They're like, okay, we're going to make you a strong character. You have all this thing. You have a purpose. You're going to be the star. We're going to put your name above everybody else. There's no Roy Scheider to worry about except for, Academy Award winner Michael Caine. And she's like, fuck yeah, I'll do that. And I get to go to the Bahamas and film.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't blame her.
It's a free vacation.
Hell yeah.
But it's like
good deal. I'd do it.
Yeah, everybody
Come on,
did.
Dave, let's go make Jaws 4.
Yeah, everybody did because they wanted to go on a vacation, basically, probably. I mean, it's like the film, so I had to write down this, like it focuses on the now widowed Ellen Brody and her conviction that a great white shark is seeking revenge on her family, particularly when it kills her youngest son and follows her to the Bahamas all the way from New York all the way down the entire eastern seaboard of the United States to the Bahamas, to warm water where sharks don't even live.
That's what they keep telling you. They remind you, like, there's no way they'd come down. And it's a Christmas movie, too, right?
Oh, it takes place on Christmas, too. Yeah, around the same time. You can watch this every Christmas now.
I do.
So
it's totally plausible.
Oh, my God.
This is also the last movie she ever did.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
She went out on Jaws 4.
Yeah, I'm sure she's
on her shield.
And it's like, and they make her kind of like the hero of the movie. It's like, oh, who's the hero of this movie? And you're like, oh, this 55-year-old woman. It's like, she may have been younger than that. I don't know.
Jesus Christ, Dave. No.
She's just like, this old lady's, she's like, I don't like.
She's determined.
She's a very determined
she's gonna
mother.
Stab this fucking shark with the.
She just jumps on a boat and starts sailing it.
I know.
They don't set up anywhere in the movie that she knows how to sail a boat.
You learn some things. Then you've had to
she learned it from her ex-husband.
Commandeers a boat.
When you've had to defend yourself several times.
She's like on the ocean, just like steer this thing.
Yeah. I love that ending.
Get them with the mast.
But not because it's good. I love the movie because it's fucking awful.
But it is so, and you know what movie sucks is when they have to like show flashbacks to the first movie. And I think I brought this up when we did the shark episode where I was like, she's having flashbacks of times that she wasn't present for.
Right.
It's like, oh, you remember when she's having a flashback to Brody on the boat, like, smile, you son of a bitch. And like, did he just tell you that story a whole lot? You just remember it like that?
I mean, I would tell that story.
You're supposed to fill in the blanks, man.
And you're like, and Ellen, I was on top of the boat. And then right before I shot the gun, I said, smile, you son of a bitch.
You should have been there, babe.
It was awesome. She's like, God, I know. Yeah, he's told the story to everybody. Like, he shot the shark.
Can you imagine fucking Brody getting drunk at fucking family functions being like, smile, you son of a bitch. You're like, oh.
You like just hear, you're like really across the room, you just hear him say, smile. You suddenly say, God, he's telling the story again.
Yeah, while he's flipping burgers and shit's on fire. And he's
like,
just
and then
drunk.
I said, smile.
All right, time for bed, Grandpa.
Like, we've heard that story before. Thank you.
Oh, my God.
Thank you. Oh, he's telling the shark story again. God damn it.
Shit.
But like, I made a note and I was like, my biggest gripe.
Your biggest gripe
with the series is that they don't even try to give up on making the good movie. Like, they just keep and like make insane sequels. Like it could have just went completely like supernatural with it.
Oh, they could have gotten even worse. Like they could have made Jaws bigger every time and a bigger boat.
Yeah, like
it's just you've got a warship and a megalodon fighting each other.
Hell yeah!
You know, like even like even like Friday the 13th that started out, it was just like a mom, her son. There was no suit. Jason wasn't a zombie yet. It was basically, and those went all the way down completely off the rails, which still makes me want to watch them. This is because they get so crazy. Jason's turned he's like a zombie, and then he's comes back and from the dead, and but it starts out as just a simple movie about a mom getting revenge on counselors. This one, they're just keep trying to make the same movie over and over and over again, but
with less money.
And then I was like, if they really they should have made sequels that went completely off the rails, but they keep trying to strike that cinema gold, which they keep failing at. And I was like, I want the Jaws 4 where the shark's original motivation, which this is still in the book if you read the book for Jaws the Revenge, where is the result of a curse of a voodoo witch doctor seeking revenge on the Brody family after a scuffle with Michael, and it's revealed that the shark is actually a pawn and can't understand the force driving it and where it needs to go.
Peter Benchley, you're a fucking idiot. What? I never knew that.
If they had done that, I would have been like, this movie's dumb, but I'll watch it over and over again because I want to see the guy do the voodoo curse on somebody, and that would make more sense than why, because they keep saying the shark's coming to get revenge, and it would make more sense that if there's oh no, but the shark had a curse put on it, and he's the
and then Brody has to go fight the voodoo witch doctor.
Yeah,
hear me out. What if that was the original script for Jaws the Revenge? It's in the right setting. They're gonna do that.
I think I think they were going to include it, but I think it was just we don't have time to do all this.
Oh my god!
Just got to cut all this
because they have stereotypes.
They were smart enough to wrap that one up in 90 minutes.
Yeah, nice.
Jaws 2. Jaws 2's 2 fucking hours long.
It moves along such a brisk pace. I never noticed.
I'm just why? Cut 30 minutes off that movie. There's so much. I'm just I
don't know. How about cut 4 hours out of this franchise?
You didn't need to make any of the other movies. They're who do you think you are? The Godfather? They made Godfather, and they're there's no way you could beat this movie. And then they made Godfather 2, and they almost did better than Godfather 1. You think you're Godfather with Jaws? You're going to remake? You're going to make Jaws 2 and be oh man, this is even better than the original.
If they had added lasers, that'd have been great.
The bar was really low. They just wanted money. The name was going to make them money.
Yeah, and
and that's the problem is that people.
Yes,
everybody's
that is the problem, and I will get to that. That the name means everything.
Oh my god!
And people kept showing up because they kept making money. By the time you watch the second one, people were "I'll go watch Jaws 2," and then I think they make the third one. And then people show up for the gimmick, probably,
Oh, yeah. That was the year of 3D.
Yeah. Everything was 3D.
Jason 3D. Yeah. Space Hunter, Across the Forbidden Zone, all that stuff.
So people showed up for that. And then they were wow, let's keep mining this Jaws gold here. And then
3D's a big thing now.
Just bombed on this fourth one. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
But anyway, but you should watch all the sequels.
Have you seen part 5?
So that's your argument.
But
you should. Part 5.
Is there not a great part 5?
Oh, there's not Cruel Jaws.
That's right, motherfucker.
Which I didn't really include in this.
You shouldn't.
Technically.
But it is a thing.
It was called Jaws 5 in Italy because they don't care about
copyright Zombie laws. 2. They don't give a shit.
So it was called Jaws. Over here it's called Cruel Jaws, which honestly I would watch. Cruel Jaws is insane. It goes completely off the rails. Some of the worst acting ever. Still better than Jaws 2, 3, or 4.
Wow.
I would watch that. I watch Cruel Jaws over any other Jaws sequel.
Yeah, but we've talked about this many times. We love trash.
Yeah.
But not this franchise. Dave, you want to go or you want me to go?
Oh, I'll go.
Oh, God.
We were talking about Amity. We were talking about
riled up
Amity Island. Let's talk about the Amityville Horror.
Dave,
what a segue.
Let's talk about this because the first Amityville Horror,
it's not bad.
It was a success. It made a bunch of money. I think at the time it was the most successful film for its budget. It was 4 points
for AIP.
Yeah.
Would it be the best haunted house movie?
What?
Maybe.
No.
It's up there.
Katie, hit them with your hysterectomy.
Hold on. The best. Would it be the best American haunted house movie?
No,
what?
Still no.
No. Anyways, I'm not saying it's
Paranormal Activity 3.
No, fuck that.
Okay.
I should have picked that fucking piece of shit franchise.
I'm surprised
what was I thinking?
By the way, I didn't know. I swear to God, I thought you were going to go for it.
Yeah, I wasn't because
I went for Friendship.
No, I didn't want to. I don't want to watch those movies.
Friendship.
Amityville Horror. We all know the story. Family moves into the house.
True story.
According to Jay Hansen.
Well, it's
and the Lutzes.
It's very very debated about
What would the
happened.
warrants say, Dave? Yes, real.
Oh yeah, there's
about
a couple of scam artists came over to our house.
Yeah, a couple scam.
Told us that ghost.
This entire movie is based on people who want money off this fucking story. Nobody will ever know the fucking truth.
But regardless of what the truth is, the
I
first
forgot.
one was actually a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
People enjoyed it.
People
It
freaked
was
the fuck
spooky.
out.
It scared the fuck out of people, and then you get more. Do you know how many films? You know how many films are in that with the name Amityville? Because that's the first fucking problem.
Yeah.
You cannot copyright a town name, so anybody can make an Amityville movie. We've got Amityville Steve's Basement,
Yeah.
Amityville Pumpkin,
Oh no.
Amityville Ace.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, you can just keep doing it. There are more Amityville movies, more movies with the word Amityville in them than Marvel movies. Think about that.
That's crazy.
I first became aware of those, those sequels like that,
Direct-to-video
like maybe
sequels,
5
yeah.
years ago when I
Oh,
saw
no shit.
like there was like Amityville Werewolf or something.
Oh yeah,
came out.
there's tons of them.
And I was
but
like, what the fuck?
We will get to those. We're going to talk about the ones that are in continuity right now.
Yeah.
There are
Two is not bad.
There are 10. There are 10
Oh my
movies.
God.
Yeah, you didn't know that, did you?
Godzilla movies. They just keep making them.
There are 10 movies in continuity. You've got the second one, which was the prequel.
I think it's better than the first. No offense. You can yell at me later.
Except
I
for the
don't-
incest.
Yeah, except for the incest.
yeah.
I don't.
Jesus Christ, Ace.
I don't care for. I don't care for prequel horror movies in a line of movies. Like I don't really give a fuck about what happened before.
Yeah,
I don't.
Dave, yeah.
I don't. It's just one of my
That's
things.
established in the podcast. You don't like to know. I don't give a fuck about the
I don't need to know
Yeah, I don't need
backstory. I definitely don't need a whole movie about the backstory.
Well, fuck.
And then you get to that was the one too where it was the was it 2 or 3 where it was like, oh, there's the ghost and everything. No, it was 2 because then
This is like a retelling of
it gets
the
into the
original story.
it gets into the preacher at the end.
Yeah.
He's like, I saved everybody. I'm a ghost.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill people. And then you get to 3D.
3 Amityville 3D, which
Dino-
I have watched.
Dino
more
De
than
Laurentiis
I've
produced
watched,
it.
I've watched the third one more than any of the other movies.
Ah, really? I've seen
Combined.
it once. I own it. And I've only watched it one time.
I love part
It's-
3 because it's that 3D bullshit. You
Yeah.
can see it. Talk about the bad 3D in Jaws 3.
Oh, yeah.
This is just as bad. Go ahead, Dave.
Oh no,
Lather it with your love.
Oh, there's no love for it, Steve.
Katie just threw up in her mouth.
Because that one they got in trouble too. Like they couldn't connect it to the original family.
Yeah.
Because of legal rights,
Yeah.
and they didn't want to do that. So they're like, all right, well, some paranormal activity goes in there, and activity guy goes in there, and he's just like, hey, I'm gonna see if this is real or bullshit. Turns out it's real,
Is it real or bullshit?
Yeah.
and there's lots of 3D. Ghosts always go for the eyes.
Oh my god, they do. I love it. They have that little pit in the basement, like from the other movies, but that's where the portal is to hell or whatever
Yeah.
the fuck is going on with those little demons and monsters and everything coming out. Great. Carry on.
And
It's the best part of the movie, which they include on the back of the box. So if you ever just look at the back of the box for this, and you don't
there
have
it
to
is.
watch it.
yeah, there it is. But that's the thing. That's why I don't think it's a great movie because there's a few scenes. And you can see them on the back of the box.
Yeah,
and that's really cool. Do I have to watch 90 minutes of this?
Yeah.
No, you don't. But the real thing that gets this series in trouble was the direct-to-video days. So in the late 80s through like 96.
Yeah.
You had Amityville 4, the Evil Escapes, because it just decided to go somewhere.
Just went to
Amityville,
video.
The Curse. Amityville, It's About Time.
Hell
which
yeah.
she says it.
I love, yeah.
It's about time.
And it's a haunted clock from one of the first house movies. And then the first time I'm watching this, like the woman, like they're kind of wrapping everything up, and I think there's somewhere. But anyways, the woman in the movie goes, "It's about time," and I was like, "Yeah,
She
that's
said
the
it,
name
she
of the
said
movie."
No,
Yes.
but by that sets the standard that anything, like I said, anything can be cursed. The pumpkin, but
There's a dollhouse one.
There
Yeah, that's
is.
right.
That was the last. That was the last of the video ones in the 90s.
That one's fun.
They're fun.
Some of
but
these
like
are fun, but they're just dumb.
it takes a lot to get to the fun.
Very
but
90s.
like my theory,
gotta
if you
dig.
wanted to make another Amityville movie, right? So the movies, the house has probably been just fucking vacant for years. Everybody that goes there that dies, by the way. So
Didn't it burn down in one of these?
yes,
Okay.
yes, it did. So you get some people that go in there to steal the copper. And it's Amityville copper,
Yeah.
and it goes to the junkyard.
Amityville plumber.
It goes to the junkyard, and then you have Amityville trash heap. It's several movies. You could do this. But I think the thing that makes it the worst for me, like I said, everything's named Amityville. They tried to remake it in 2005. Ryan Reynolds and
shirtless Ryan Reynolds.
yeah,
That's the only
just-
thing anybody.
I like
Melissa
that.
George.
Yeah, I like that. I just hate the CG they used in it. If they cut all that crap out, it's not a bad
yeah,
on his abs.
it wasn't a bad movie, but like,
washboard, baby.
then that's when we start to get into a problem.
Oh, now we get into a problem?
Because like in somewhere around 2016, like everybody was just like, fuck it, I'll just make it. Like
I think
seriously,
somebody figured it out.
In 2011, that's when it started. You get Amityville Haunting, Amityville Asylum, Amityville Death House, Amityville The Final Chapter, Amityville The Playhouse, Amityville Vanishing Point. Oh, no. There was a guy named Daniel Ferranz, and I was just like, why does that name sound familiar? Oh, yeah, that's the motherfucker that wrote Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers and the Tooth Fairy.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So he made Amityville Awakening, and he made a few of these too. And if you go through the list, it gets hilarious because like at that point people were like, oh, we can just throw Amityville on anything. In 2020, the Amityville Vibrator came out.
Oh, nice.
Amityville Christmas Vacation. There is another Amityville movie coming out this year. It's Amityville NATO.
Oh my God.
What?
So
We watched
we
Amityville
talked
Christmas
about
Vacation.
the Amityville Christmas Vacation on the holiday episode last year because I decided, fuck it, I'm going to watch this piece of crap. And I remember actually enjoying it.
It wasn't
But
the
it wouldn't-
worst ever.
But the thing is
It's the whole idea.
It's not even connected to it. Somebody was just like, we'll make some silly fucking movie and throw Amityville in it so people will watch it.
Some of those, they just take words that are in the ethos, like that are like popular, like in memes or something. Like they made one that's like Amityville Karen,
Yeah.
and it's like her with like the haircut and like the outfit, and she's like pointing her finger at you on the cover. Like,
Yes.
it's the worst.
You think these are like fake memes or something, and they end up being real fucking movies. That's how I found the Amityville Christmas Vacation. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's pretty funny. Holy shit, this is a real movie on Tubi.
They went to space. Amityville went to space. In 2022, several years after that craze was over,
Yeah, man.
Amityville in the Hood. It's just the reason why I think this is just the worst is because you have the high bar that the first one, that the first Amityville movie put out there. Even Stephen King loved it, and this was, back in the days where he would say anything, for money. But he compared it to, what did Stephen King compare it to? He said, it's really a story about the financial burden of owning a house, which I get because I own a house and I've wanted to kill people before.
Dave's just chucking logs in the fireplace in the middle of summer wearing a sweater and y'all gotta go.
Amityville plumbing, man.
Oh, no.
But yeah, that's I could probably go on. Really, there's an Amityville Emmanuel movie.
Oh,
now I'd be down.
I was going to say, you just gave, he just put his name.
I love Emmanuel.
But
All of them.
I celebrate the whole series.
as a whole.
No, I'm losing my shit here.
But overall, it's just the problem being that the first one, such a high bar. Everything after that was just lower and lower and lower, and you don't even know what the fucking continuity is. You can't tell because anybody can use Amityville, and that I rest my case.
Yeah, that's
it.
a
I
really
win.
good one. That's going to be hard to beat.
It will be.
I don't know if I was going to beat it. What you got?
Amityville Gore Club coming 2027.
Amityville Gore
no.
Club. Yeah, we'll just Amityville Gore Club podcast. We'll have like a ghost come down and go for my eyes.
Yeah. We'll do it all shot on video, Ace style. Did you
Yeah.
have something you wanted to add?
No.
Okay. I didn't know if you chose in your own shitty franchise
I mean,
to
I
splash
did.
all over us.
And I have a lot of strong feelings about it, but I think it's a franchise that we can't really talk about that much.
Oh.
Because I love I Spit on Your Grave. I love that
I
movie.
think we've talked about that many times. I wake up and I'm like, again?
Why can't we talk about I Spit on Your Grave?
It's a touchy.
For a lot of
Well,
reasons.
I
I
don't
get
know what kind of movie you think this is.
I get for the obvious, but it's a good revenge film.
It is. And I love the original, but they remade it in like 2009, 2010, and then they made like 4 or 5 sequels after that.
Oh my God.
The worst film. It takes what's so great about the first one, which is that it's a really strong revenge movie, and it basically just glamorizes the sexual assault part, where that's 90% of the rest of the movie.
Oh, see,
Yeah.
I can't watch these with her. So, I mean,
And
do
then
your
in
thing.
the original, it was just like, all right, there's this really awful scene you have to watch at the beginning, just established, but don't worry, she's going to bite somebody's dick off.
Yeah, exactly. And
That's one way to put it. Very
all of
succinctly.
the others, like, yes, there's a revenge element, but like you have to sit through so much that is such like a who are you making this movie for?
So
Who's
maybe
enjoying this?
I don't understand. Okay, I mean, I get it. What you're trying to say is, since I have not seen these movies, and some people probably have not, you're trying to say basically it's sexualizing the sexual assault scenes.
Yes.
And you're like, oh, okay.
It's
Holy crap.
sexual in a way that it absolutely should not be, and it's violent just for like, look how violent we can take this. Like there are just so many scenes where it's like, this is so unnecessary to the message of the movie that you're making this for people who are just enjoying watching this part of the movie.
Okay.
Sort of like think Irreversible, right? You know how brutal that was.
God.
Just maybe a little less brutal,
Yeah.
but a way longer.
Just
like the sequels to that were just. Katie summed it up pretty well. Like,
Yeah, with the way you're
it's a
describing it to me.
weird way to shoot it.
What do you got, Ace?
Just like edgelord bullshit.
Yeah,
Okay, that's a really good way to look at
Yeah.
it. But like the way you're describing it makes it sound like basically you're doing these slow motion, sexy shots on something that should not be even filmed that way.
Just none. It shouldn't be filmed.
That's a good way to put it too.
To the extent that it is, like, it just, they go on for way too long, and it's just, it's like the filmmaker is reveling in this woman's pain instead of being like, look at the trauma that she's going through, that she has to come out of, and like, look what she can make out of this trauma.
Wow, this is fun.
Instead, it's just,
Jesus.
look at her being tortured.
Yeah, you don't want to. And it's just like, are you offended yet? Are you offended by my movie, bro? Like,
Yes.
does this offend you? Like, it's like, no, you
God.
just suck at filmmaking.
All right, so Jesus. Okay, well, I'm glad you chimed in on that one. mine's going to be a little bit more divisive. I chose one of my favorite movies and very troubled sequels now, and they go up and down, and it's Return of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, really, Steve? Yeah, that's my favorite movie. Everyone knows that. But like, and people, I can defend a couple of these entries, but man, you get to the end and I just want to punch my fucking CTR.
Oh, yeah.
When you say the end, you mean like Rave to the Grave?
Jesus.
Or like
Necropolis or whatever.
Necropolis.
Like, I feel like those. I never even made it. I never even made it past 3.
You should.
But because I think I tried to watch.
You might enjoy some things in those movies, but let's talk about Return of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
Return of the Living Dead, low budget film, went from had production hell to made this little gem that came out in 1985 that beat all of the other zombie movies that came out in 1985. Reanimator, Day of the Dead.
Yeah.
It was number 1. And all the problems they had to do with like having to fire their special effects artists. I mean, this is something I'm not telling anybody who's not a fan of the film. And they made it through all these problems and made this movie that worked for the time. And that's fine because you're talking about like the music that was, contemporary at the time and the looks, and they actually nailed it. And they didn't shy away from a black guy calling somebody a fucking honky.
Yeah.
And you're like, you're goddamn, and like in a shitty way. Like, get the fuck over here, honky. He's like, this way, you stupid honky. Like, and we're all laughing about it. And then you get to part 2. And part 2 is directed by a guy who didn't give a shit about the fucking genre, and still produced by the same guy who produced the first name. His name's Tom Fox, and he's like the godfather of Return of the Living Dead. And he's like, well, we got to do another movie.
And he's like, why don't we just make the same one?
Why don't we? Exactly. That would have been, you know what? That would have been fine. But let's make it like Ghoulies. Let's make it like Ghostbusters 2. Let's make it just dumb. I mean, Michael Jackson pops up in the middle of this fucking movie at the end.
Everybody I know that watches that movie for the first time, they're like, he's like, wait, so is this supposed to be the same people? I thought they died in the first movie. Are they playing different people in
Tom
this one? Like, I
Matthews
don't
and
understand
James
why.
Karen.
And I'm like, I was like, dude, I don't know why they did this, but they fucking put the same actors playing different characters in the same movie. They're basically the same characters from the first movie, but they're not.
Yeah,
Like,
and he makes
it's
it
confusing.
He even makes a whole like line about like, this is all like deja vu. Like me, you, them.
Like, but they just spent all this money and got all these people in there to make one awful joke.
It's just one bad joke. Now, I enjoy this movie, but not because it's good. I love this piece of shit movie.
It's watchable, yeah. I mean, you can.
The poster's pretty rad.
The
poster.
one-liners are just nonstop, but that's not what I want from a movie
Yeah.
that's going to be the follow-up to one of my favorite movies of all time. And that's what people need
Tarman
to-
looks worse.
There's in this franchise, that's the one shining thing is they got Alan Troutman, who played the original Tarman. He plays the Tarman in every single sequel.
Yeah.
That's cool. But they gave him like an ounce, like a minute, a second. I can't even do that. Like, I'm not doing pounds here.
Yeah.
The seconds of screen time. And oh my God, I can go through the whole story on this movie, on every goddamn movie. But let's be honest, like this movie is one big joke, and that's the problem with it. Like I can enjoy all the memes and the little video clips and all that. But as a movie as a whole, it's just a bad joke. And there's like some good actors in this movie, and it's cool that they brought back Tom Matthews and James Karen, but like to play different characters. But they literally are making this. They're saying the same lines.
Yeah,
and then you have Susan Snyder from like Killer Clowns from Outer Space. She's fun. But she also makes the stupidest decisions. And you know how I'm about writing. It's like, come on, even in like the most mundane, borderline made for television movie, I care about the writing.
Yeah. And even like just the stupid joke with the Michael Jackson zombie dates this movie so hard. Because it's I don't know. Like even at the time when this came out, it was probably a dated joke.
Yeah, you rolled your eyes and you're like, okay, that's funny.
Yeah, but like I remember watching this. I probably watched this for the first time when I was like 14.
Right.
And I was like, oh man, this is great. And then watching it later on as an adult, I was just like, because I saw this one before I saw the original.
This is a party movie. That's about it.
And the original, I don't know, for whatever reason, like none of the stores in my town had to rent when I was a kid, and I never saw it on TV till like years later. But I saw the second one first. And then when I watched the original, I was like, holy shit, this movie rules. And that second, I was like, watch the second one. I was like, God, this is not good.
Yeah. And there's like a whole like controversy with the music not being put back on the, they didn't actually have, like, there was no home video release with the original music on it until like the Blu-ray that just came out not too long ago.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Stuff like that. Cause they couldn't get the rights. There's bad dubbing. There's the effects. And this is the same guy who did the effects for that. They replaced the shitty effects artist from part 1. He does them in part 2. And they're just awful. Like, we watched it again last night, and I'm like, look how rubbery and just like, they don't give a shit. It looks like watching the Stan Winston version of the Michael Jackson Ghost.
Yeah.
Where you're like, wait, Thriller looked gorgeous, and then Stan Winston, who's a god, made ghosts? Like, these look awful, and they look the same. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I guarantee there's somebody out there right now who's probably just like, I love this movie. I can't believe y'all are talking so much trash about it.
I think that would be funny. And that's the thing, guys. Whenever you comment and you're going to comment, that's fine. Tell us which one you think you hate the most, or of ours, or which of us you hate.
Yeah,
I'll take that.
Yeah, that was my notes. The rubberiness of the effects, like, it really shows itself off, and like there's this big horde that surrounds them, and it's like not even scary. Like the reanimation scene, which is so seminal when it comes to zombie movies. Yeah. They put the goofiest fucking version of the original soundtrack on there. The whole score is awful, even if you hear the original.
Yeah,
they tried to make it make sense for the time, so they put in like Anthrax and like all these different bands, and it's like, but it's not. It doesn't work.
And also, I hate this every time I see it in the movie, wherever that stupid joke with the, when it's like, get that thing out of my ear,
get
or whatever.
Damn screwdriver out of my head.
And I'm like, I don't know what this accent is.
That's a cool sticker on a fucking laptop or whatever, man. But not in a movie. Not in a movie that followed such a great movie. Now, part 3, Brian Usna, who we all know from like producer of Reanimator and
producer of Giant Worms.
Dentist.
Guy loves big worms.
He directed The Dentist, but he produced like Reanimator, From Beyond, Dolls. Those are great movies because of Stuart Gordon.
Yeah.
And then he started directing Society. Fucking fantastic movie.
Yes.
And then he did The Guyver, but then he fell into the trap of making cheap sequels because it's easy to do with The Silent Night, Deadly Night 4 and 5.
Yeah.
They came out before this. And then he was like, well, they want me to do this Return of the Living Dead movie. No.
See, I didn't hate this one very much.
I don't hate it either.
I don't even think they shouldn't even have connected it to the series, because it could have been its own
a
movie.
Fantastic standalone zombie movie.
Like,
that's how I feel about everyone after number
Mindy
2.
Clark
You
is
didn't even have to.
fantastic. Yeah, there's a lot of good things, but I mean, just the story alone, like these kids break into this super fucking high tech, place, and then all this. The writing, it just gets worse and worse and worse, and all you're waiting for is the effects. And the effects are fantastic, by the way. I think it's Screaming Matt George and like. I could be wrong on that. I know Steve Johnson's a part of it. Wayne Toth. I forgot who else, but like the effects team were great. But they were even talking. They had so many effects houses because the time was so like restricted on them. Yeah. So they did the best they could, and the effects are the best thing. The Tarman. This is one of the worst looking Tarman. He's got like long hair. He's flesh colored. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and this has like It definitely has kind of like 90s stink all over it, where it's just like,
Oh yeah.
where you're like, oh yeah, you thought the last one was good. You like sexy zombies because we got one.
And the thing about Trimark, they took over the license for Return of the Dead, and they just told Brian Using it just needs to have the trioxin, needs to bring them back to life. That's it. And then they changed the name from 2,4,5 trioxin to Trioxin 5.
Yeah.
You know how mad I was when I watched that as a fan of the first movie. And I think that's the whole point, is like being a fan of something that's really good and maybe important to your life at that time. When you're a child, everything's important to your life. And then you get to 3 and you're like, well, at least there's boobs and the effects are cool. But that pisses me off just having to say that out loud.
Yeah. You definitely, a lot of people rented this movie. It probably did.
She looks amazing.
Yeah, you rented
She
it
looks
because
really
of the
cool.
cover. You're like,
You saw that box on the shelf and you're like, ooh, yeah.
And it pays off. So those are okay, that's great. Then we're going to get to the part 4 and 5.
Return of the Living Dead Necropolis, the one that doubles down that it is based in Louisville, Kentucky. It happened here. And absolutely, because they said it.
Yeah, you've got Peter Coyote, who is actually a fantastic human being.
Zombies with guns.
With miniguns.
Yeah.
He's got 2. So
Yeah.
Peter Coyote is like this insane doctor who works for this place called, I think it's called Hyper Tech, and very technical. And of course, kids can break in, no problem. And they have some cool music. It's got Alice Cooper. It's got fucking Godsmack and Powerman 5000.
Jesus Christ.
At that time, it probably would have paid off, but these were made for sci-fi TV.
Yeah.
And then they released some R-rated versions, like on video. That's the ones you probably see now.
Was it sci-fi or was it SYFY?
It was the original sci-fi.
Oh, okay.
SCI.
IFI.
Yeah. And you don't even have to care about the stories, because all you're waiting for at this point is to see if there's any sex and any effects. And you at least get effects. You do get effects. And the acting's not awful, but again, kids can just break into anything. Like literally at one point they're doing the old picture with the glue to make a tag to get into this high-tech building.
Oh my God.
Dude, it's just, and every ventilation system in every one of these movies is massive.
Yeah.
We can just walk around.
You just walk
around. And one of their friends just has a gun. He hears a noise. He just starts shooting, but they're still sneaking around this fucking military base.
Yeah. They're easy to sneak onto.
Oh my God. And they're extreme teens. So they're on dirt bikes, and that's where the extreme music comes in.
Extreme.
Because we talked about that in the last episode. Just fucking Mountain Dew.
Drinking Mountain Dew. It's the 90s.
And I want to put my head into the headspace of a kid maybe watching this at the time, being like, fuck yeah, man, this is cool. And it's kind of glossy. It's well paced. The editing's fine. But as far as being a part of this franchise and being a sequel to one of my favorite movies of all time, you can get fucked.
Yeah.
And that and the next one have continuity together.
Rave to the grave. When the movie came out, raves weren't even a thing anymore.
Yeah. But those came out like really quick, right?
They were filmed simultaneously in Bucharest?
Sounds right.
Yeah.
Those are like 2 red flags for a movie already. So you found out it was filmed somewhere in like Eastern Europe, and you're like, oh, well,
they filmed several.
They needed somewhere very cheap to film this.
This
like, they couldn't even go to Canada to do this.
Like, what's the point of giving people zombie drugs? I don't understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's what's so funny is I'm going to the bottom of my notes. I didn't make notes for this fucking movie. It's so bad because if you can find anything that you like about the fourth one, which they turned into Super Jasons at the end. This kid's mom, like the whole movie is like he's traumatized, but him and his little brother, they're living with their uncle, and their parents are killed in an accident, and then they find out that their uncle is actually hooking them up at the facility into being like Super Jasons with miniguns, and like she's got a big fucking spinning like a saw and shit, and they get killed like that with a grenade, and it's just dumb. Also, what pisses me off about these is that now the zombies are no longer indestructible. Same sauce, but different.
No,
different
Steve.
effects.
It's
Trioxin 5.
It's 240 less.
Oh my God! Oh, well done, Dave. Yeah, you can shoot him in the head. Some of them get shot just by being shot in the body.
That's lame.
I think of it like you put on sunblock, it's SPF 1000.
Jesus fucking
golden brown, but you can get SPF 5.
You can't distract me from this franchise. Dave.
Sorry.
Okay. And then, but yeah, you get raved to the grave, and the concept would be great. And this is the same thing. William Butler, who everybody knows from like Night of the Living Dead, and he's also in Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 3, and he's also in Friday the 13th Part 7. He's the birthday boy who gets killed. He is the writer of these movies, and he actually is a fan of the franchise, but this franchise got taken over when Tom Fox Fox, the original producer, who's like I said, was the Godfather, became very ill. I think he was going through cancer and he didn't make it through the whole production. So the company just steps in. And since both these movies are made at the exact same time, they had control over both 4 and 5, and they just fucked everybody. God, and he said, I'm on the sidelines just trying to apologize. I think we're never going to work again, which he did. And he actually, there's this book, The Complete History of Return of the Dead. There's many interviews with him in there, and he's like, I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah.
He didn't get off the hook that easy. He also wrote Ginger Dead Man.
Yeah, you gotta pay the bills, baby. You gotta buy that house. Michael Caine style.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, like, what about one of the things like that is kind of the same with Jaws 2 and Return of the Living Dead 2 is like, sure, they're probably fine. Like, they're not as bad as the sequels that come after them. But at the same time, like, why would I ever watch Return of the Living Dead 2? Like, if you had both, if you own one, you own the other. If I'm just like, I'd like to watch Return of the Living Dead, you're just like, well, I have 1 and 2. Which one are you going to pick? Just watch the first one.
Right.
There's no reason to watch the second one. Just watch the first one.
Yeah.
Well, you watch it once, you're like, well, this is the same movie, but worse.
The thing
It's like Jaws. If you have Jaws 1 and Jaws 2, I never watched Jaws 2 because I'm just like, why? I just watched the original Jaws. I'll never watch it. I had to rewatch Jaws 2 because I was like, I watched it one time like 7 years ago. I was like, well, I never need to watch this again.
No, man.
Watch it again. I was like, I'd never watch this again.
Little
Like,
did you
I'll
know.
just watch the original Jaws for like the 15th time.
Because these companies know that they can get an automatic ad space when they put a title that's already been recognized. It's like, oh, it's Jaws, it's Amityville.
Yeah.
Nobody gives a fuck about that
Easy
movie.
money.
It's automatic. You're going to get funding.
And you'll not only that,
Even if you have to
you'll
crowdfund it.
you'll get
Name
you'll get
recognition.
attention. Name recognition. There you go.
I mean, we're talking about Return of the Dead. They're making 2 sequels right now. One, it's backed by all the cast and crew, and it's called Trash's Revenge, which we've had Linnea on the podcast talking about it. And then, of course, there's the one that seems to be getting the most traction, and it's the company that fucked over everybody who's part of that. Of the original, like they're suing these people. Yeah. And it's the one where you see Tarman dragging the Christmas tree.
Yeah.
Great marketing. Because I was like, this is going to be fucking cool. And then when we talked to Linnea, she's like, no, we're all suing that company. Please don't support that. So if you're seeing that and you're a fan of Return of the Dead, please don't support that.
Yes.
When it says called Return of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say about that.
I couldn't make out what was going on with that. I was like, oh, it's a tar man. He's carrying a Christmas tree.
He's still alive?
He's still alive. Like, he hasn't fallen apart. He had the good stuff. Well, he had Trioxin 2045.
And I'm watching that trailer. I'm like, okay, so this was like, 4th of July, and now this is going to be the Christmas movie. It's going to be fun. And so we're going to set it up in Louisville, which is hopefully. I kept thinking of all these different things, and then she was like, put a stamp on it. She's like, fuck, if you're a fan of me, you can go fuck. Don't dare support this movie. I'm like, yes, ma'am.
Sorry.
No, that's my rant on Return of the Living Dead.
So those are our choices for worst franchise.
Christ.
And you all can tell us who is right if we're all wrong. I'm sure somebody out there loves fucking Amityville Karen.
Yeah.
So you all should probably tell us what is the worst. Who wins or who loses?
I think you do, but go ahead.
But everybody can tell us that. But
well played, dickhead.
Well, yeah, he said the worst. And the funny part was you're like, everybody should watch at least 2 of these. I'm like, get fucked. I'm not watching these again.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
I didn't know there were 10, if not more.
Yeah.
Those are the ones you just found.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I actually found a blog where somebody had tried to watch all of them.
Wow.
And they gave up. They were just like, I can't fucking do it.
I've seen some reviews of some of like those ones that came on later, and it's like they just look bad because it's like it looks like they're filmed on like an iPhone 4.
Yeah,
It's just like it looks terrible. Like,
and I want to support those kind of people who make these movies, but like just fuck.
Trash. Anyways, Ace, you have a thought?
I have a final.
Is it time?
Is it time? For
It's time.
I have a final thought.
Jesus Christ! Final thought.
Franchises and stuff. In our modern age of cinematic universes, us horror fans long for a simpler time when our villains only wore a bag on their head and sequels were in name only. Who out there can honestly remember the lore for 25 Marvel movies before venturing to the theater to see Avengers 9? Take me back to the old days when I could drop into a franchise at Part 4 and be thoroughly entertained without hours of homework. Sure, maybe you got the occasional 3D movie, or maybe they went to space. But isn't this the escape we need in our current shared universe?
And that's deep thoughts with Ace.
Thank you.
But before we go,
Oh, you got a question?
I do have a question.
Oh my God!
All right, we talked about movies that had bad sequels and everything.
That's one way to put it.
What's a movie that never had any sequels that you wish they would have made into a franchise?
Wow. This might be a pause thing in the old editing process. What, like of all time, any movie
that never got a franchise that you're like, shit, I really wish they would have made more of those.
Jesus, look at Eighth looking around their whole room going, I don't know.
I don't know.
Because all I can think of is like the bad sequels, like From Dusk Till Dawn. No. Creep Show. Just leave it alone. God damn you, Dave. God damn you, Dave. What do you got, Katie?
I've got one.
Uh-oh, hit it.
What is Katie's?
Audition.
Ooh.
I want to know what happens after.
Yeah. What
Does
is
she
that?
get another? She get another person?
Yeah, does she just kind of keep it going?
I mean, she probably would, and then she'd eventually end up in space.
Oh,
She can vomit. She can vomit in her mouths in 3D.
Oh, no.
Baby birding.
God damn it. I hate this. I like this because I have to think.
That's your thinking thing.
Fuck, Dave. Because our lives are just like saturated with sequels. I'm going to have to look. But the problem is I look around, it's nothing but franchises.
It's just nothing, nothing but franchises everywhere.
Well, I'm going to go with, I think I'm going to go with like Black Roses or like one of those, any kind of like heavy metal horror movie. Cause like, I think if they
Trick or Treat, the sequel.
like the sequel to one of those, like, I think if there could have been like a Black Roses sequel, like if they kept making them, you would eventually get to the 90s and
Yeah,
you'd
new
have,
metal.
Like, you'd have like new metal Black Roses.
Oh my
like,
God.
you'd be out there, they'd be wearing like Jinkos and like
Yeah.
playing with down-tuned guitars, like playing
7 strings.
just like, you know, like rapping and stuff. And like the parents are like, we hate this rap metal that you kids are listening to.
Oh, no. The mixing of the music. Oh, no.
Black Roses 5. You're not ready.
I mean, I'm just going to go for it because I just now saw it at the corner of my eye. I would say Shocker because I think they would have made a better sequel.
Oh yeah, that would have been that. That could have been a really good one.
I think that if that movie had done well, then maybe Wes Craven, which he wanted so desperately to make a new franchise that rivaled Freddy because he got pissed off at what Bob Shea did to it. He was trying to make a new franchise. And I think Shocker, he would have been like, this is what I want to make. But where would he have gone? Because that ending is bonkers as fuck.
Yeah.
So would it have been even worse, say like, I don't know, Return of the Living Dead Part 2 or Ghoulies, whatever the fuck. Like, it would have been even more over the top. More channel surfing and running through the TV. What? Don't look at me like that.
No.
Shocker Part 2 is a great idea.
He just gets on it. He can go through DVDs and cell phones.
Oh, my God.
You can bring it up to today's technology.
Oh, I forgot. Mitch Pileggi's actually in Return of the Living Dead Part 2. I just remembered right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Full circle. Comes around full circle.
You know, I didn't even think of one. Apparently,
God damn it, Dave. That's not fair.
I know it's not.
You do They Live Too, and it's just live footage of our current
It's
world.
just what's going on right now.
Man.
It'll be just called They're Alive.
They're
Yeah,
alive.
because if you think about it, we're in a world nothing but franchises. That's all you hear about from like independent filmmakers or even people at a higher level. They're just like, nobody cares. Nobody cares. They just want that name recognition to make the next movie. And franchises where you got to go. You got to make the next Jason. You got to make the next Hatchet. It's like, why?
They're like, hey, we're making Fantastic Four again. We're going to try again.
Yeah.
Try again, guys.
And they swear this is the good one.
Yeah. Oh, and we keep buying it.
Yeah.
We
People are
buying the
excited about it.
We keep buying the ticket, man.
You know what else would be cool though?
What?
Is another Substance movie, but from a male's perspective.
Oh, yeah.
What would that be like? And would people actually enjoy watching it? What am I going to cry about? That's all I got.
I know. What age would he have to be that he aged out of film? Like, he'd have to be like
Testosterone.
like 90 years old.
Well, he had to be like
I'm
a
picturing,
50-year-old
like, an Arnold
fucking
Well, not even
Schwarzenegger,
then.
like
masculine, like what do you call
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Alpha
He
male.
used to be a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
Rips up.
Substance 2, alpha male.
Alpha male, yeah. Actually, you know, it goes back to what what you all talked about last week with werewolf movies. Dog Soldiers, I think, would be great if they elaborated on that.
Yeah. But I'm also a fan of not having sequels or franchises movies that I love.
Exactly. So
Then
it's a
you wouldn't
double-edged
have-
sword.
Yeah, but you get lucky. You would never have Evil Dead 2 or Army of Darkness if you didn't. You wouldn't have Faces of Death 4, Ace.
Yeah. That's
Classic.
Talk about edgelord shirt. I got that Faces of Death shirt on.
Oh, my God. But I think
This
that's...
one's mostly car crashes. So.
Yeah. Jesus. Well, that's a big thing. I can see that on my phone now. How weird is that? What a weird world we live in where that would be censored in 37 countries and now
Oh,
it's on
yeah.
TikTok for all to see for no reason.
Yeah.
I just watched a bunch of plane crash footage earlier today.
Oh, yeah. That shit's crazy.
Yeah.
But, I mean, this is going to be a fun episode. It's going to be fun to edit. But, you know, like Dave said, like, you know, tell us what we like. Tell us we're wrong or agree with us and vote on whose franchise is actually the worst. I'm almost conceding to Dave, but not quite. I'm going to keep up the fight. Just because I have 2 good sequels. They're okay, and then the rest of it just oh my god.
And there are none in the Amityville toilet.
Amityville the soap.
It's like Spaceballs content.
Oh God! All right, well, let's get out of here, Dave. Fuck.
Hey, thanks for everybody listening to us. You can find us where you're listening to us now. Watch us on YouTube, Anchor FM, Breaker, Google Podcasts, Overcast, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Castbox, Verbal.com. Isn't one of those gone?
Anchor does not exist.
Anchor doesn't.
It was
you need to
bought
mark
by
that shit out.
Spotify bought Anchor.
Yeah.
Oh, so just
yeah.
I guess Spotify. Whatever.
Spotify.
Well, listen to us. You'll see us somewhere. Follow us on Facebook, like, share, subscribe.
We'll make physical copies. And
Tell
be like,
us.
you want to hear our shitty shit?
Release it on CD.
Oh my God! Yeah. Physical
CD of
media.
our podcast.
Jesus
All right,
Christ.
we're out of here.
All right,
Bye. Jesus Christ. Gore Club Podcast. This is the Gore Club Podcast with Steve Vessell, Ace, and Deathmetal Dave.